Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Delhi, episode 3. Now, we made plenty of gains. These areas is the gains that we made after our pretty lengthy war against Jaunpur, but they're not fully annexed because limitations. But I'm sure one day we will finish them off, which we have a truce with them, as of most things, which won't expire until 1472. And of course, you know, Jaunpur's only ally that's left is Gujarat. Milwat had a vestige. And yeah, we were at war, but I'm sure one day that we want to fight against Kalpi because this area here, we have a core province to that. But unfortunately, it's part of Mawa. And if we were to fight against Mawa, I mean, we do not have the strength to do so, but, or should I say, you know, fight against that in those means, you know, that reconquest war. In future, obviously. But, you know, it's part of that. Bengal doesn't trust us anymore because one of the parts of that war is that we didn't give them any territorial gains as they originally hoped for, but hopefully we can, you know, rebuild that trust as we owe them many, many favors. But it views us with distrust because we broke a promise. But can be increased by spending favors, and trust will also increase times as long as I'm allied. Okay, well then we'll keep the favors then. Keep currying favors then. Just about as much as possible. And when we get our manpower back up, our next target will be Multan, as they're allied with Afghanistan and Nagaur, which Afghanistan, you know, never contributed anything for us. We only allied with them because of cultural bonds and whatnot, but clearly they made a lot of friends, including Multan. And if we were to fight Multan, just to reconquest to take that core off of them, I got theoreticals. Afghanistan would join. Doubtful that Mao would be there, especially that they're kinda no manpower and they're a bit exhausted. Do the same. Because we helped them out, so. I mean, no doubt. Just give them time, alright? Give them time to recover. Oh, and another thing. I'm sure there are ways to get more manpower. Somewhere. But the one thing I'm intrigued is the Rajputs, you know, Rajput regiments. That they would serve as soldiers for our nation. Special unit force limit. Having Rajput regiments to complement, you know, our armies, which you only have one army, since you just said that. They'll contribute quite a bit, even though we would be giving away some land, as I control 38% of the Crown land. But in actuality, I just want to summon a diet, set an agenda for the next 20 years until. See what I can do. The Brahmins see the stability of Delhi as paramount, insists we must improve the nation's governance so our nation may be free from instability. The ulema urge us to build a magnificent house of worship in Delhi, so that their followers may have an adequate place to congregate in the province. As a minority in the Delhi state, the Jains feel disadvantaged in many aspects of life. They ask that we assure them about their status by granting further privileges. Stability up to 3, that's costly. Build a mosque. Just a mosque. I can do that. For the Jains, give them 2 privileges. That's a little too much, so... You got it. We will have a mosque in Delhi. Which, of course, it's going to take a bit of time and money. Which, no doubt, we have the income to do that now. Unless you're going to be that kind of person that just debases currency and increases corruption a bit. As I said, unless if you're going to be that kind of person. But, no. Well, we had a bit of inflation. Cost a month. I didn't know that was an option. But the war exhaustion would slowly go down over time. Unless I want to use that, but... Nah. I think most of the time will be spent during his peace. Also, I fail to realize the reason why we're making so much money, because we're collecting the trade here. On this trade node. And not so much from Lahore, but... If we had another merchant, I would definitely, use, the Bengal trade and transfer its trade power to here. You want a mosque? You let me want a mosque, so we'll get them a mosque. It'll take you a year. White peace. Well done. After all this time. And I even thought about converting the provinces, as this is, you know, a Hindu majority country. Of course. I mean, it'll be easy to convert nowadays, even though it'll take a few years. While stability and all that. But if we have at least 75 towards mysticism, this would be great to have. So I'm more of a mysticism type person myself. But do any of them involve... Let's see. And the Hanafi school gives administrative technology cost reduction. I did say I would like to have more merchant, but to do that you need... Oh, copies down here. Yeah, but we plan on taking them over in future. Keep that well in mind. Not in this episode, but sometime. Monopoly company formed. Oh yeah, they don't trust us anymore. Because we never gave them land. No way in heck. Very well. We can defeat Jaunpur ourselves. Anyways, the realm often grants trading companies the exclusive rights to travel goods in the regions in exchange for a lump sum payment and continued revenues from the traders. We have just managed to negotiate one such agreement with a group of Delhi entrepreneurs that promises us a lucrative windfall. Very tempting. Even though we're not going to have that power anytime soon, but Demand payment in full. Any of these areas that contain centers of trade, build marketplaces. For more local trade power. Even though we could just build it all over the place since we have the most power around here. Might as well. More trade power you have, more income you'll have. Yes. Even though you do make a good amount of money through taxation, so I think you should just only build it at centers of trade are for marketplaces. And rest mosques. And I'll consider conversions in these areas. So yeah, we will break an alliance with Bengal and we'll find other friends. Like, who knows? Maybe Baluchistan. The friends of your former overlord. It's official now. I hope one day we'll get back together. One day. And if I ever fight against Mala, should ally with the Baminis, despite the different fate, but we can definitely improve relations, royal marriage and all that. Another government reform. Which we are an Indian Sultanate. Should strengthen noble privileges. The noble class has served our state well for generations, and as it grows, it is only fitting that we continue to call for the great privileges to those families that have devoted themselves to our cause. This will have more national manpower modifier, as we lack of that. Without Bengal, we are vulnerable. Considerably. Very much so. Since where did we take that? I did not have this area. Because our original war was better. Was it due to this war, like when Ladakh defeated Kashmir and then one of the demands? Return this back to Delhi. It is considered part of the core province, so thank you. It is part of Sensaga. Remember, in future conflict, take all these areas that are highlighted there. But we'll take Kalpi one day. One way or another. Even though the best option to fight against them would be allying with the Baminis, as they're a strong country, but they don't have the manpower. You son of a... Beat me to it. I don't think too much about Bengal. But I still need Mao just to finish off what's left of Jaunpur in future. They could be reasoned with. There we go. Gained a base, one base tax in Delhi. Which, you know, that contributes to the development of this area a bit. That's the base tax. Almost fully reinforced. And then we'll start having manpower reserves as we gain 200 each month now. No need to ask them again. And haven't thought about granting them privileges. They do pay well. Haven't looked at the rest of these privileges that I can give them. Which again, the religious unity thing is again, religious unity under 100% increases local unrest and decreases influence, so they receive nice stable religious Catholicism. If everybody wasn't Sunni here, it'll be easier for stability. But obviously, it's not going to take long, and thanks to the mysticism thing, it'll cost a bit in a month. Yeah, don't worry about that. This is just for starters. We gotta do something during peacetime. Peasants. And now we're starting to pick up on that. Trying to remember something else. It's like, yes, we have quantity ideas now, but since I only have a limited time on Earth, I'm really thinking about getting this up faster, just to get those ideas faster. But if you do that, which I just did, it'll take you 20 years before you change your national focus. Have even more military power. So we can get to ideas like these a little faster. And when you get these first three ideas, then these come up. For the Delian ideas. Don't worry about the Milwari separatists. And same for them. And the military ideas of Razia. Throughout her life, spending Now, spanning back to our time in Lahore, Razia has developed a good grasp on military strategy, enabling her to participate in many discussions on the topic. Her senses are clearly governed by reason, while her ideas often concern the troops as a whole, not the best care for the men themselves, or the human being behind a warrior's mask, has led to our generals often holding the thoughts of Sultana Begum in high regard. Excellent. Excellent indeed. We're almost to our first of the quantity idea. A little more tax income. Marketplace here, because there's Emporium here. Build another one here, because of development reasons. Levy en masse. National manpower modifier increased even more now. And then in future, which again we'll get that in a few years when we have enough power to do so. And we'll have faster manpower recovery speed, which is a big priority to me. Uh-oh, I know what that means with that stability drop. Our old monarch died a little too soon. Our heir is not quite ready to assume the role of monarch. Razia will now be ruling our nation until our heir comes of age. Unlike with the Regents Council, we will still be able to declare wars. It's 10 years old that Sultana Begum has taken over. As she is kind-hearted, which will reduce the war exhaustion just a little bit faster. But the skills are good. But we won't be getting as much as we used to, especially when Mubarak takes over. Slow down. Not a political show. A time has come for the ulama to appoint a new leader to assist our Sultana Begum, regent in the capital. The likely candidate is an old cleric of a solid history as a prominent member of the ulama behind him. He has, however, acquired many enemies during his life who now hope to see somewhat younger candidate with a less ugly past to be appointed. As Sultana Begum regent, it would not be hard to influence this selection with the younger candidate who would likely be more loyal. To be seen to meddle in the affairs of the ulama, however, would very likely weaken the faction in the long run. We do have the money. But giving him a little more influence, what would be to that effect? I just paused it. Land share, religion, not dominant. If you give him more influence, that actually, you know, benefits. Okay, just this once. Do not meddle in the affairs of the ulama. That's just to have more tax modifier. That's my reason. And plus, we're still trying to convert a few here, which is going to take many, many years to convert everybody here. We'll never fully convert the entirety of India, but still. If those separatists were to break out, we can definitely put them down. Also, we have no general right now, because our great rulers died, but at least he served us well for the war against Jaunpur. Actually, I should be the one to tell you to have a royal marriage, but doesn't matter. Regency. Aha. That's kind of funny we still have a royal marriage with, well, not anymore. We used to with Bengal. Are we really gonna get back together? But still, you could hinder us should you get involved with another war with Orissa and its vassals. But I still need you to get yourself Jaunpur in future. Don't bother asking them. Don't have a bone to pick with Kashmir. Merchants worried about lack of protection. With our focus on free trade, our merchants are concerned they're not getting the support that they would under a more mercantilist policy. Yeah, sure. Maybe there is something we could do. Increase a little bit of mercantilism. Which, what that does is, that provincial trade power modifier increased and embargo efficiency up a little more. Yeah, Jammu and Kashmir. Even though we do not have a claim on that area. But I wouldn't mind fighting what's left of them. So you know what? For the first time, build a spine network over there. And maybe we'll try to fabricate a claim there. Don't go to war till you have at least 20,000 manpower, ideally. Unless it's a small war like this one, then you'll be fine. I have no quarrel with Ladakh. Visit from some shady people. A few slightly shady-looking characters appeared at our court, offering their service to our Sultan Begum regent. They claim to be willing and able to do things that any power would have never denied publicly. It's an offer. We're trying to construct them. Oh, you started this. Fine by me. Get our spine to work up faster. But still, I do not like the fact that the Bamini is allied with Bengal because I could use them in future conflict against Malwa for this area. I raise my eyebrows in suspicion for this. Now, why would you want it with us? Unless I'd look towards Baluchistan for a conflict against Multan. Plus, the alliance with them wouldn't work because we would be fighting them anyhow. And yes, we'll break up with Afghanistan in future before this. At least it's not a Regency Council, and we have Razia ruling things here until he grows up. More men for the army. Our policy of favoring quantity over quality is paying off. As today, more men can develop for the army. You can never have too many men. Alright, going a little ahead of schedule. Slightly happy about this. A little bit of news. Slow down. When Razia was first made a royal consort, the Tuloks were excited. Now that she is the royal regent of the realm, they are ecstatic. Razia is now one of, if not the most powerful woman in the realm, and the family has made it clear to us that they expect to be treated in accordance to her position. Eek. Just say, what kind of daughter would she be if she did not help? So we will promote their interest when creating new legislation, even though that increases a little bit of corruption. But still, they will remember that we came to their help. Again, they hail from Lahore. And it's highly doubtful that they are the descendants of, you know, of those rulers who once ruled Delhi before the Sayyids, you know, kicked them out. You may never know. If anybody has read on the history of the Delhi Sultanate, read some, but not all. Mostly about Razia Sultana. Not Sultana Begum Razia, but Razia, who is the daughter of Firuz. What? Jharkhand. What good are you to me? I think I'm most likely going to ally with Baluchistan, even though it'll be too many relations. But still, they are very friendly to us. And, Multan is your enemy. We can get along fine. Though, don't have the manpower, but still, you'll be of some use to us. The Timurids have integrated Fars. That's slightly concerning, as they were once a mighty empire themselves. Truce will expire next year. Keep that well in mind. In fact, move into position. Also, we should increase the size of the army, which I thought about introducing the Rajput regiments, because a special unit. I mean, doing that's going to give them more of influence, and I will give some of that crown land to them. But max absolutism will change with -5%, so we shall do so. Now, where does it say that you can recruit the regiments? There it is, Rajput Infantry. I mean, the Indian arquebuses here. The Rajputs are, you know, slightly the same. But what's the difference? Can only have 3 infantry to recruit. So we could grow up to 10% of their force limit. So they have stronger morale than average troops, and they are cheaper to reinforce. and retain their drill bonuses for a longer period of time. Ah, slightly more expensive, but base maintenance is the same. We shall do that. Tell your position. Good idea. Give me some of them. 1, 2, 3. I mean, yes, we're using up some of our manpower, but there are going to be of some use. The Rajputs are great warriors. And when we get a little more manpower, spend it on cavalry. Because I need some of them. Well, the Timurids are warning Afghanistan to not do something stupid. Come on, is always nice to us. Yeah, it needs a little more cavalry in future. Ideally have about 3. We could fabricate claim right now for Jammu, but I fear that, well, doesn't matter. We have that claim right now, and we can get it whenever we want to. Development, check the development. Mosque here. Here as well. And in Sirhind. And then while we save our money, spend it on at least 3 cavalry for this one. Make it 20,000 strong. And then in far in the future we'll create a second army of 10,000 strong. First army will be an elite army, which even contains these Rajput regiments. So yes, I gave them a little more of that, because I felt that they're quite useful to us. Well, there's your new owners. We could take them on if we wanted it to, which I would have a much easier time to do that myself. But declaring war on the Hindu would move us towards legalism by 25. Which if you go towards that amount of legalism, then that's just more. But this way is... I mean, the piety has changed over time. But remember the mission. Restore rule over Multan, so we have to take all these areas. As we do have cores in all these. Especially this one that's considered a core province. Of Lodi dynasty. The Lodi dynasty has seized control of our nation. The dynasty is widely disliked, and both the population of the Sultanate and our neighbors are expressing their disapproval of their usurpation. The best we could do is to weather the storm that the actions of our new monarchs have caused. Curses! We can get this back up. And inflation's just increased, which isn't good. Perhaps we should speed things up a bit. As long as they haven't get themselves into trouble. And plus, you know, just to get ahead of time. I mean, Mawa will definitely help us out in certain conflicts. Yes, they will help us out on this one when we bring them in, which we could no doubt defeat them. But I will bring Baluchistan as an ally in sooner or later. While I'm considering making this army 20,000 strong. And then in the future we'll create a second army with 10,000 strong, if we can afford it, of course. Let's make it official. And yes, we'll have a royal marriage too. How many royal marriages do I have? Oh, just only 2. We should consider breaking royal ties with Afghanistan for this. Just to get them to like us even more. Then finally, just to improve relations with them, just to tell us, hey, we can all get along. Well, you got too many relations, so you gotta end your relationships with someone. Because no legal heir, so could be anyone's dynasty. Majapahit has proven itself unable to govern even its holdings on Java. A rival state calling itself the Sultanate of Mataram has emerged on the southern part of the island, has laid claim to the legacy of the empire. I heard that insult. The Sultana could do little but watch as her empire collapses around her. Yeah, what's going on over there? We can declare war against them at any time. Ruled by a Sultan over there. They're not going to be coming in until we at least owe them a couple of favors, and I did not know you are in debt. I was well aware of lack of your manpower, but hey. I mean, I believe we can handle it ourselves. With or without Baluchistan's help. And dealing with Afghanistan will be another challenge to us. One, two, three. Because of this. You could stop with that now. And also the mercenaries are hireable again. You see, in this game, even though I played over 500 plus hours of this, it still takes a lot of patience, you know. Kind of like with the other titles like Imperator Rome, which is practically the closest thing to it rather than Crusader Kings. So here you go, 20,000 strong. Even though we're not quite ready for war as far as manpower reserves is concerned, but it's big enough to destroy their single army. And of the Afghans. That's only if it's not just the number of forces, as well as the special units, the Rajputs with you, that'll also last longer in the fight for the, you know, due to the morale. But it also depends on who's your great general. It's about to finish conversion here. Just 2 more years. When he turns 15, he's ready to rule. No war exhaustion here. Huh. Okay, good reminder. You can use that to get rid of the inflation. The amount of money we gain is fine, so I really want to get rid of this corruption right here, right now. I ain't going to war with corruption in my conscience. I didn't think about that. Cindy is making a comeback. So I really want to root out corruption. That's what I'm trying to do. Thank you. You know, we can convert a few more, but it's gone now. Even though if we try to convert another, that one's going to take twice as long. That's why converting is rather important. Local reduced unrest of whatever kind it is, but it's not something you should be doing every time. Just only when it's absolutely necessary. And if they ever rebel, we can definitely put them down. In fact, the real question is, you know, governing capacity. I have not looked that up. Oh, good timing. 278 a month. 312 a month. There you go. And if we could get one more for reduced regiment's cost, and then we'll have increased yearly army tradition. Which, where does it say that for army tradition? Oh, over here. Thanks to the innovativeness. We don't have the military power to go get a general right now, so it's going to have to be another year. Next year it's probably going to be the likely deadline for a war to be declared. Which at the same time will root out whatever corruption is left. And just for covering that one province, well, there's a bit of increase in unity, so every little bit helps. Nothing's changing every month. Oh, this again. Oh, not again! Damn it. It's even more corruption then. But I'm not spending any money to build more buildings. Get rid of it now. Every little bit helps. And then wait until we have enough military power to... Well... when he turns 15. It doesn't tell you what birthday it is. So I forgot the actual date of birth. Now I remember what I was going to look up. That's why I had to pause for a moment. I can invite a Shafi scholar if need be. Or just for my merchants. Because of friendly relations with copy. Anyways, governing capacity. That. And I know I never bothered with the edicts because it does cost a little bit of maintenance. Which it should be best waited until we take over this area till I feel that, okay, and stability and whatnot. And very good income. In fact, the real question is, what's development like over there? I never... Not as much. It's poor territory at the most, except for Multan itself. In fact, look up the whole of India. Well, it is here. It is here. Is where we have the most development. But not every. I mean, I could, you know, invest all that, but, you know, that... No, that's exploiting. This is the one. That could definitely help if you have, you know, some despair. What should we really get up to there? I mean, I haven't really used diplomatic technology. And I like to be ahead of time because of innovativeness. But being ahead of time is not always the best. There we go. Mubarak Shah's attention to detail and superior administrative skill will aid us in reforming our administration and maximizing our tactics. Our consort region, Razia, stepped down to allow Mubarak Shah Lodi to take the crown. We got no heir right now, but we don't have a consort, as we have plenty of royal marriages. And we'll see what kind of personality he is. Well connected. Reduced advisor cost. Which I would get an advisor if we can get rid of the corruption first. It's for maintenance reasons. And I don't think it'll be wise if I, you know, try to, you know, make myself a military commander. I mean, it doesn't cost any military power. It's just, you know, hang on. Sheikh-ul-Islam. Where the Qadis are judges of the land, the Muftis are the ones that provide general legal interpretation of doctrine. A sultanate as large as ours, however, needs... Oh, no. I want to conquer Tundar. Tundar's out of Milwa, Bangladesh, Jasma, Jalabad. Well, we have a stronger army now, and I guess we better point that general sooner or later. Well, I'll be there, but let me finish reading. Multan's gonna have to wait. They got themselves lucky. So, a sultanate as large as ours, who needs an overarching authority role to move these. Traditionally, this is the role of the Sheikh-ul-Islam. The Sheikh-ul-Islam Not the author of fatwas himself, but he'll also be the one to appoint many regional muftis in our realm. Ultimately, he is the person who will safeguard the legality of the Sultan's edicts. Naturally, the man we pick will belong to the Hanafi, but there are some number of distinguished candidates to choose from. Ooh. My legitimacy is fine. But I like the national tax modifier option. Tolerance of the true faith is whatever to me. And ours too. So let us select the foremost and most loyal mufti to this position. An undrilled army with no general, which we will have to appoint. Do not want to have a premature death with this character, not unless if you have a consort and legal heir. But they are considered inferior, but they may bring a little more. But again, we have the vast majority of infantry and cavalry, so it shouldn't be too hard. They cannot negotiate separate peace with any of them. Or we sure can bring down their fourth son. And then we'll meet up with Marwa. Duna, where's that? Oh, you're them. Right. Just take the war gold and you'll get what you want. You're allied with them. Yeah, you cannot negotiate separate deals because this is Marwa's war, not ours. We'll meet up over here. Well, let's just hope it'll be a quick war. Bangladesh is part of this, right? Yes. Keep going. We can beat him here. Sure. Don't worry, we'll root it out before year's end. General or no general, we'll have the numbers, even though it's going to be a bit costly. You know what? Temporary. Just temporary. I just want to see how it is. Terrible. Compared to him, he's... Well, the shock and the maneuver. I have a much better maneuver, but I have no shock and no fire. So you're definitely going to have to recruit a general. But let me just participate in just one battle, okay? I will survive this because I'm young. And the young ones always survive. As the old saying goes. Mubarak Shah and the Hindavi people. The accession of Mubarak Shah has been less well than received by the Hindavi people. They consider this matter as foreign and strange. While some distrust the new leader is only natural, it seems that for the time, being our new Sultan will have most supporters at court, where he surrounds himself with Afghan friends of foreign lands. Yikes. That's not going to help, but still. I'll pick up a leadership trait, if any, after this battle. Nothing. Well, once we return to the friendly territory, we'll recruit a general. And hopefully a proper one. Sickness of Sultan. Mubarak Shah has fallen ill. Cannot handle all aspects of ruling Delhi for the time being. How shall we handle this? Oh dear. Jains or Amirs? Jains are less loyal. So delegate more to the provinces, gets decentralized ruling. So that means monthly autonomy changed. Unless I die before then. Shouldn't be out in the field. All we want is a quick resolution to this war. And that's it. It'll be a disaster if I die. Hey Bengal, you're still friendly with us. How about an old royal marriage between us, huh? Just like old times. Malika Bibi's the new Sultana Begum. Hopefully we'll have an heir very soon. Again, may need them to finish off what's left of Jaunpur. New there. Compare that to myself. He's better than me. I can tell you that right now. And in case if I die, and if the Sultana Begum would take over, she will be a lawgiver. To reduce it... That's a good one. In case if I die because I decide to give more monthly autonomy around here. And when she takes over, she'll reduce the autonomy here. Aladdin Alam Shah. Like that name. But the claim is average for now. Death of a merchant. One of our greatest and richest men in Delhi, Muhammad Shah Singh. Of course it would be Multan. He's died without an heir. A well-respected trader who built his fortune from the cotton trade. He was a well-known patron of religion and arts. Now in death he has bequeathed all his wealth to the state. Use them as he would have. Might make use of that advisor. I don't need the money right now, but when we get rid of that corruption fully, I'll have to appoint him. What was that guy's name again? Yeah, that's him. Kendavi Suni. Stability cost modifier, which would be a priority. Because you know how... As I said, it's going to take decades to fully convert all the provinces that I currently control. For the next 20 years. Well, I was thinking about this, but I realized if we take Multan and we still have to, you know, core creation and we'd be spending administrative power, but Cape with land acquisition. Almost gone. Takia. For centuries, many followers of Ali considered the necessity to hide themselves and feign adherence to other religious customs in order to keep their faith alive. Authorities and, you know, that newly converted province, has increasingly come to suspect that there's an increasing number of Shias among local Sufi lodges and would like our blessing in their attempts to root them out. Oh no, we don't need no more unrest. I mean, I tended to be more of a mysticism kind of guy, but they now would be very disloyal. But but you could change the shit. Oh, damn it! This is. I will take that prestige hit. Be willing to. They'll be more loyal, but the Kandahar area will have plenty of uprest. That's over here. It has missionary strength because we've upset Sufi lodges. Take 45 months. Right. Should I really do that? Because we could take advantage of this, you know, to convert more. Take 45 months, which sounds like 4 years. But remember, Hindu zealots never rose up against us, so take advantage of that. As I said before, so now we're moving towards legalism. I mean, I'm more towards this, but now we're starting to go the other way. And I could enact a national decision which adds more missionary strength versus heretics. By heretics, we mean Shia and Ibadi. Which, there ain't no Shias around here. Integration of Rajput nobility. Rajput nobles are a common sight at the court of Delhi. It's becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish between them and the other courtiers that make their home in Delhi. The Rajputs at court have been thoroughly integrating into Delhi aristocratic society, going as far as to learn the Persian language, observe Delhi and courtly etiquette, and personally accompanying Mubarak Shah wherever he goes. This leads to the loss of distinctly Rajput voice at court, as these nobles become more concerned with their personal advancement and the interests of the Rajput community. This garrison has just surrendered. Guess we better go deal with them soon. But I don't know about this, because, you know, I'm still leading an army. Well, this is a great army, but this is not a good general. I would rather, you know, get a real one. No more corruption. Less of a price. Because I'm well connected, you see. Use that. I could promote him, which will cost me a lot of money, but increase the salary a bit and will permanently increase this advisor's skill. Just looking for... But there's no need for a national manpower modifier right now. I think we should be fine. But now the Rajputs. Without their influence, you know, the fort maintenance would be down. But if I discourage integration and give them some influence, but the emirs on the other hand, helps with the manpower recovery speed. Oh dear. But it's for next 15 years. Encourage integration, then yeah, the 4 minutes goes down, but faster manpower recovery speed because we're at war. But do I really want to go down there? I don't want to get myself killed. Oh. You can recruit a general right now. Malik Hussein, very simple name for me to pronounce. just as bad as I am, but, however, he does have a bit of shock and fire compared to me. But I'm more of a siege guy myself. But you take care of it. I'm sure we'll find a better general after this war. Just take what you can get, alright? We're scaring them away. But they'll soon, I mean, the war should be over soon. Unless I want to go help them in their siege. Just to make the progress go faster, but I think they got enough manpower to take care of that. Bangladesh is out. Reparations. Don't need to read some of that, for that involves me. Because I probably get some share of that money. If any at all. Now I can steal maps. If you establish a spy network, and one of the choices you make is to steal maps, so you'll know how much of the known world is now. Oh, there they are. Wait for the next stage of the siege and then we'll go after their army. You take care of that siege, we'll take care of that army of theirs. Then again, the bigger the army, the longer it takes for it to travel. War's over. Head the shortcut and drill. What did I get out of it? 7 ducats and some prestige. Thank you. Because we definitely need you in this. But, meanwhile, you're still in debt, but I could send you a gift to help you out on that. If we can. Oh, Jaunpur is involved. Aha. This is why we need to get back together. Because I know you still have a bone to pick with Jaunpur, but when Jaunpur joins, he's still got a lot of soldiers, but no manpower reserves. This is rather interesting. Yeah, I have an idea. But you know what? The best army is to be stationed in Lucknow. We'll create a second army, and they'll be stationed over here. Start drilling. For starters. And I know you got problems yourself, but I'm sorry that you are in debt. I would give you financial aid, but I'm about to create another army. An army that, unfortunately, I have to take control of since we got a general there. Combined with a strong moral compass, Malika Bibi always has a sense of honor. 2, it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gotta bounce out here. Decisions made by no trusted decisions about to be it about political issues. Sultan's at war. Is Jaunpur part of it? No. But if we were to declare war on the enemy, they'll be there, no matter what. Okay. So, the Sultan of Begum speaks about eloquently, something that awarded admiration even from during early days in Bengal. Both stay importantly, however, the words of the Sultan of Begum carry a truthfulness to them, matter making even most stubborn members of the court heed any advice offered from her. Excellent. Becoming increasingly difficult to administer our armies. The men we have on the job become inept and far too venomous. We search for men who are just corrupt enough to be bought without being too greedy. Until this is done, our military administration will prove costly. For 10 years, land maintenance. Yipe. We're about to be at war, so I'm not giving you access. I mean, I don't think it'll happen in this episode, but certainly the next one. You're one of the friendlies. I consider them. So yes, it will be 10,000 strong, and that's how I'm going to leave it. No Rajput regiments here. It's going to stay with the First Army. We already used up the special unit full limit. I mean, sure there's room for 2 more, but that's all I'm going to do. And it's the best I could do for Uzbekistan. Not even they could give it, but recently broke a promise. How long is that? Maybe it's just diplomatic reputation upon myself. Or we'll probably soon break it up. And Afghanistan is at war with somebody else. Okay. So, Afghanistan will be there even though they're in the middle of another conflict. Jaunpur will be there, which we will definitely have to fight them. Just to... Don't know about territorial gains, but I would like to see them eliminated. Because the objective is to take all of this. They still got reclaim lost territory, get these 2 missions done, then and leads to that. So you probably want to break off an alliance with Afghanistan. Despite the fact that we're neighbors. And they're never going to join us on any wars as they are allied to the enemy. And you got this much money in debt. But they don't have the manpower nor the strength, but... Well, their army is a bit smaller compared to theirs, but... Should I really assign myself there? Wish we had better generals, but... Just wait a while. Decisions. Oh, that reminds me. Mothball the forts until then. Just get a little bit more money. Maybe I can get Baluchistan out of debt. And, subsequently... You're not at war, are you? No. But you're willing to come back. Look, in theory, if we try to fight against them, but... yeah, sorry I broke that promise, but... You have a truce with them, I understand. And accepting it would destabilize. I understand too. What's your... That's due to breaking the said truce, because breaking the truce also breaks down the lower stability, I should say. It's okay. Because I'm about to get involved in some nasty conflict. And have you this much favors. And I know you distrust us, but still. Soon you will learn. Prevent accumulation of any favors and might end the alliance if they think they can manage without you. Oh boy. Did what I can with you. Get back to currying favors with them. I'm just doing whatever. Whatever works. Build a great palace. Monarchs often struggle to subdue the nobility and secure their standing in the eyes of their peers. The rise of farms have reduced the nobles' role in these wars, but left them with, in the eyes of the monarchs, too much idle time. In order to dazzle the nobles and keep them occupied, many monarchs are increasingly creating grand new palaces, introducing elaborate court rituals. Delhi is no different. We instructed our chief architect to draw up plans for the new palace to be built. We'll build a palace then. Just make it look good. Just to be in position. Ramadan. Soon it is the 9th month of our calendar, and Muslims worldwide are preparing for a month of fasting. It is one of 5 pillars of Islam, and is for all adult Muslims who are not ill, traveling, or pregnant. From dawn until sunset, no food is to be consumed, no liquids drunk, no tobacco used, no sexual relations allowed. It is time for spiritual reflection, improvement and increased devotion and worship. No God-fearing Muslims should ignore Ramadan. Prestige is already good enough, but... You know, the character is kinda sick, based on what the text is, but it's kinda hard to tell. And he's still young. Compared to the... Whoa, I did not notice the age of the Sultan of Bagum. Yeah, that, But still, we have a child, but... I'll just ignore it. Better safe than sorry. I know it's a bad thing to do, but still. Health is more important. we'll be slow to get another of this idea, which in turn will give us yearly army tradition gain. Time for the royal monopolies. Our predecessors have widely used the system of royal monopolies to control the revenue from cash crops and fine goods. With demand falling, however, we are losing money on these investments. Our overseer in Lahore is now reporting that they've been unable to sell their stock for 2 years now and worried that this is going to cost state money. He suggests that we force our subjects to buy these goods at a set price instead so that we can gain our investment. A process no tradition has taught. 10 years. Lahore gets unprofitable monopolies. Just don't want to have too disloyal of the Jains, even though their influence is rather low as compared to the rest. But, you know what an excellent idea. Just Tarf instead. A disloyal will give us a bit of national unrest. Be careful with those. If I want the Jains to get back to law, I'll give them something sooner or later. Unless you want to summon a diet immediately. Which, we could do that now. Get all that loyalty back up. Alright. The ulema requests a invest in the prosperity in the lands of Bareilly, that Sunni province. The depletion of our manpower reserves is worrying to the emirs, who warned that Delhi would be left defenseless should our enemies seek to take advantage of the situation. They should advocate that we consolidate for a time and allow resources to recover. Jains claim that a marketplace in Sialkot is too small to suit their needs. They request to invest in a larger market, which they say will greatly increase the prosperity of the province and the country as a whole. Base tax up. Gotta have base tax up. Have more manpower low, which is gonna take a long time. And build a marketplace in Sialkot. You got it. Sialkot will have a marketplace. Do not intend to spend money, but I did this act, just gain a little bit of money, and then summon a diet, and then and the Jains will be loyal again. Getting lucky with these decisions, these kind of decisions here. That legalism. Let me see that. Aha. Just wait until you raise about at least 200. I doubt we'll need mercenaries for fighting a multi-front war, where I want the best troops to defeat Jaunpur because they have the largest numbers and they are starting to get manpower reserves. Which, if we defeat them in one decisive battle, then they're going to be out of reinforcements. If war were to start right now. While this one, as they're already in the middle of fighting a war, and they are winning, because they really want Bangladesh. Enforce peace. I did not know that's a thing. They'll say no because invalid target. Okay. I didn't even know that was an option. Again, played it for occasionally on years until nowadays. There are some things in this game that I just discovered it's all new to me, despite I played many times. Not as much as the other two Paradox Interactive titles. And it's going to take a long time before we even get into Renaissance stuff for the second set of ideas, which I'll figure out what that be in future. But you can build a workshop now, which is for local production efficiency, as this produces silk here, which would be good to have, but not right now. Keep drilling. I will likely start the war in a year or two. And I kind of really want, you know, another revisor where we can have more military power gain, so we can get this third idea, and army tradition helps too. Army tradition would be a lot of help, because we're not getting much out of this. Unless we get a lucky event where a skill divisor, but at a cheap price. Debate over Sufi practices. Muslim scholars were not united on the question of permissibility of Sufism. While, okay, base production, again, one base production and Sialkut. While most appreciated the high levels of religious devotion inspired among the general population, some disapprove how certain Sufis express their faith. Poetry and song about wine and illic love, as well as communal dancing and veneration for the tombs those regarded as saints, could at times provoke opposition from the more hardline elements of the Islam. Oh, basically, take your pick. I mean, if I want to go back this way, it helps with the conversion speed of it, so support the moderates. Aha. Okay, you're the one that started this war, but you took the objective, but there's this other army that's still on you. Oh, you are improving opinion. Thank you. Now, I doubt that you'll join this war because you are still in debt. But I could send you a gift to get you out of debt, which would definitely help you join us. Despite the fact you got separatists. But still, your help would be much appreciated, even though it's small, but every little bit helps. That's just my opinion. And Mawas and their vassals, of course, are very willing to help us out. Because we fought against them a few times. And of course we can't bring Bengal in, because one is trust issues, and breaking a truce would also destabilize them, because that's what it does. Multan will not join us there in the middle war. That's in the theoretical war, free trial right now. You think we should wait a few years? Like say, 1472, that's when we should officially declare war against Multan. And we'll fight a two-front war. And Bengal will... I'll definitely try to get as much land out of him as I can, while taking some of this. Well, that would be very, very aggressive expansion on that part. Diwani script. A cursive style of Arabic calligraphy originated in the Ottoman Empire of the 15th and 16th centuries. A Diwani script was thus named for its intended use on royal decrees issued by the Ottoman Divan. The cabinet of the Ottoman state strengthened our rule by proclaiming our edicts, word of God, and the harmonies of calligraphy. So we'll get there in the future. But we already have the legitimacy, so make it so. You get it till the end of the game. No expiration date. I mean, we'll be happy to take that option. Nobody will ever call, you know, our dynasty illegitimate again. And, again, I could start war, but I fear Jaunpur. But I think we should raise money to get Baluchistan out of debt. Help them, so they can join this war. Alrighty, thank you. Don't convert another. Not yet, at least. New trade research is heretical. We had complaints of several dignitaries in our country that the new practices of merchants are clearly heretical, and we should put a stop to them. Might as well. Low power of everything. They're increasing their size again. We'll end this episode on the beginning of 1469. We've made good progress and somewhat good recovery, although it's a bit slow, but we could do better. But now we will stop this episode here. So it's now for certain then. Uh-oh. That means Afghanistan cannot join, right? No. Sometimes patience pays off. And if they ask for help, I'm not going in. Might as well break that alliance in the next episode. So it's highly likely in the next episode to declare war against either Multan or Jaunpur. Wait 3 years for Jaunpur, which will be on November of 1472. Declare war on them and take some of that land from them. Particularly the core here in Multan itself. While we'll get the rest of and eliminate them, then we'll be in a strong position for northern India. So we hope you people enjoyed this episode and join us on the next one. But until then, so long for now.